All right, let's talk about the learners. Like some of my favorite people who can smell fear, fake enthusiasm, and badly chosen worksheets from a mile away. That's right, teenagers. The dreaded teens. And if you've ever stood in front of a group of teens and been met with those blank, judgmental stares, eye rolling out the door, or the dreaded, why are we doing this? You know. So teaching teens is a unique beast, we can say. They're not kids anymore, but they're certainly not adults either. And they want independence, but they also need structure, and they want to feel cool, right? So they're usually in front of their friends or peers, but they also crave belonging. And if your lesson doesn't hit that sweet spot, we'll let you know loudly, or worse, actually, silently. But here's the thing, teaching teens doesn't have to be torture. Sometimes it feels like it, but it doesn't have to be. In fact, they are my favorite group. I do love teens, but it can be one of the most rewarding parts of a job if we get it right. If we get it right.
Hey there, it's Kelly, and if you're here for miracle fixes, shiny classroom hacks, or whatever today's buzzword is trending, yeah, not gonna happen. What you will get is real talk about English teaching, teacher training, and the chaos we actually deal with in ELT. So let's get into it.
So before we talk about anything about activity, I just laugh because I think every time I talk about teens, I think of like this motley crew group of teens that I used to teach in the past and just continue. Anyways. Before we talk about activities though, seriously, let's unpack why teens act the way that they do in the classrooms. First, I've got notes, so I'm going to refer to them just to make sure that I'm staying on track because you know me, I will diverge. Anyways, their brains are literally rewiring. Let's just start with this. Executive function, planning, focus, self-regulation, still developing. Not complete. Download in progress. That's why they forget their homework, they get distracted, they resist the structure of the class. It's not laziness per se. It's biology. They're struggling. They're really struggling. They're hyper focused on peers. All teens. I don't know any teen that's not hyper focused on peers. Social approval for them is everything because they're still, again, they're in that developmental stage. That's why pair and group work, those activities really matter. And because being seen as stupid or like the outcast in front of peers is worse than failing a test. No? Identity building, it's like their full-time job. Like they're figuring out who they are as people. Yeah, they're experimenting with that, how they sound, how they fit into this group or into the world. They push back, and they push back against any authority. And you're one of them because you're the teacher. So it's not personal, it's practice. They're testing their limits. And so when you see that eye roll, it's not necessarily defiance, but a developmental stage maybe. And that can change the game for you, I think, personally. Great. So now that we know that they're on the struggle bus of life right now, let's talk about activities that actually work for teens, because we need to get practical. And here's some things that kind of hit that sweet spot of like challenge, but also relevance. I love debating. I think it's fun. So you could do something like a debate club, light version. Here are my notes on it. Instead of like these heavy, like really heavy debates, like let's not do that because give them like hot takes. Also, you have to use their jargon. Okay, so is homework pointless? Or should TikTok be banned? Let them choose sides, and then off they go. So it sparks opinion, it teaches them argument language, it feels kind of personal, but it's all related to them. And it's like hot takes, hot seat, hot takes. Do at the beginning, do at the end of class, do it as, you know, we've been focused and really quiet for a little bit, so let's do something real quick. Sometimes what I like to do is I let them choose sides and say, okay, you're for this, well, I'm going to make you against it. And you have to give me reasons. So, and then that challenges them a little bit. Sometimes they get really angry at me, but I don't care because I'm just as sarcastic as they are. Anyways, another suggestion. Remix an assignment. So give them a boring task. Yeah, it is, you know, it is what it is. Write a formal email. And then let them rewrite it as a text message, an Instagram DM, a script for a voice note. Suddenly, grammar and register become fun and not abstract. So have them do it because maybe your school or your center, your organization requires you to do it because they have to turn it in. Okay, so then let's take this and make it relevant for them. Teach the teacher. I always loved this when I was in like these schools, like the physical schools I was working at. I'd love to give them the power. It was fun just to see what they did with it. Give them a mini topic. It doesn't have to be grammar necessarily or something that they're learning. Slang. Teach me slang. I love it. But they'd have to do like meaning, form, pronunciation. Like if you're going to teach me a slang word, I need to know how to use it. So if you want me to like kind of be in your world because I'm trying to take you into my world, you have to do the same thing. Gaming vocabulary, even explaining memes. I used to be some of my teens, they used to take pictures of me. Do you remember when Snapchat was real fun and like popular? They would Snapchat me coming into, because I have a very expressive face. So they would come off with the most unhinged, ridiculous comments. And then I would make some like horrid face and they would Snapchat it to a circle of their friends. And it was like a game for them of, so God knows, first of all, God knows where my picture and my image are on the internet. I don't even care anymore. But also they would have like a game of like who could irritate their teacher the most, or I don't know what they were doing. They showed it to me and I was like, and it was just horrid pictures of teachers just being like, oh, with the shocked faces. So, hey, yeah, that's fine. Explain it to me. Like, what's the game? What are we doing here? They have to teach you, but they have to teach you in like a very principled way. And it actually is kind of fun because you're showing interest in their world, which sometimes even the best of parents don't show interest into what they're doing or what they're saying and who they're hanging out with. So, you know, kind of validating like, yeah, this is a stage of your life that you're doing these types of things, which are crazy to me, but I also did stupid things that my mom probably, she doesn't know about them, so it's fine. All right, next up, role playing with a twist. Not fake, order at the restaurant. Instead, convince your parents to extend your curfew. Or pitch a movie idea to Netflix. Something like that. Like do a role playing that's actually cool and fun and creative and not just the same things over and over again. Again, if you have to do certain things because of institutions, like you have to check a box, fine, check a box. But then, you know, twist it up, like do something different with it. So they have to do a role play and they have to order food. They don't have to order food like at the restaurant with the menus. That's like half the time it doesn't. Tell them that they have to make an order on an app and then they have to tell their friend, like they're screaming to their friend across the room. You know what I'm saying? All right. Teens at night, they're like hanging out, they're doing whatever, someone's in another room, there's people all over the place and they're like, hey, get me some chicken fingers. Like they're like ordering to their friends who are ordering from the app and, you know, give them money limits and stuff. Do something that is, again, relatable. So, because if it's not relatable, they're just gonna be like, ugh, this is super boring, because that's how teens are.
Super quick, I promise. If you're looking for a teaching certification, specialization, even a micro-credential, Bridge Edu is a solid pick. And with my link, you get 10% off any course they offer. Check out the link below and let's get back to it.
Okay, number 3 that I got here. Keep it real, not cool. First of all, you're not cool. In the eyes of teenagers, no one is cool, okay? So you're not going to achieve that status with it. Many teachers try to be like the cool teacher. Like, you're not the cool teacher. You're a teacher. You're not cool. That's it. So yeah, teens just, they're living in their own world. Also, I was born in the 80s, okay? Like, I have a very different perspective of the world and very different everything. Like, I'm old. I'm just old at this point. I don't understand what's happening in the world. I try, but it's cool. I'm never going to be cool. So, and they can smell it from a mile away. Like, who is this old person trying to infiltrate our circle? Don't do it. It's not going to work. Anyways, here's what's going to work instead. Just be real. Admit when something's awkward, because sometimes there's like really awkward moments. Be like, oops, sorry guys. Share a little bit of yourself, like a little bit. And if you don't know what the latest trends are, then ask them, like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. Can someone explain it to me? I'm just like, I don't really care that you guys think I'm stupid. My parents also, well, I thought my parents and their generation and my teachers were stupid too. So that's fine. It's like the cycle of life. So yeah, I would, okay. Anecdote time. I guess there was this group of kids I was teaching and they only wanted to talk about soccer. I played soccer when I was a teen, but I don't know, whatever. And instead of just fighting it, I was like, all right, we're just going to do post-match interviews then. And we practice how, I have notes here. It was like, we practice how players dodge tough questions. And so they were just practicing that, like how they were engaged, they were laughing. We worked on reported speech. That's what it was. I had to dig and find like one of the things I thought was fun. Anyways, they wanted to do it and I just kind of like mixed it up a little bit and it was fine and engaging, and they practiced the language that I wanted them to practice, and cool. So anchor, what I would say is you're not cool, accept that fact. 2, anchor the lessons in something real world. Music, memes, school stress, friendships, those typical topics that you see in the course books or whatever, but make it kind of updated and not super cheesy. And then let them bring the culture to you. You're just framing it in English. You're not trying to do anything else but that. So, another tip 4. Please protect your sanity. Because, let's be honest, teaching teens, that can drain you. We have to set boundaries. You have to build routines with them, and don't take the mood swings personally. I've had crying teens, I've had euphoric teens, I've had completely despondent teens. It's just some days showing up with consistency and having them do something that is somewhat relatable for them is a win. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. Just protect your sanity a little bit. Recapping my tips for teaching teens: understand why teens behave the way that they do. You can research it. I'm certainly not an expert in it. I just know that they're not fully cooked yet, okay? So let's just lower the expectations of what we think they should be doing. Use activities that are opinionated, playful, relevant. Be authentic to yourself, not cool, because you're not cool. You're the teacher. You're not cool. And protect your energy, because you also matter too. So those are my tips for teaching teens. And of course, if you want more of a full playbook of tips and tricks and how to approach these types of things. I am an affiliate with Bridge Edu, and they do have a micro-credential course for English, teaching English to teens is what it's called. I will link the course in the bottom of this video. Feel free to check it out. If you use my affiliate link, then you do get 10% off of that course. They also do have 2 other specialized certifications, which are more extended programs. One is for 60 hours, and it's only on teaching teens. So it's like much more extended than the Micro-Credential, which is a few hours. And they do have a 120-hour specialized certification focusing on young learners and teenagers. So that's 120 hours, which is way more in depth than the Micro-Credential and the other certification just focusing on teens. Because, listen, the teens are tough. I personally love them. I love that they are angry at everything and they have mood swings and they're sarcastic. I personally really thrive in that type of environment. That probably says a lot about my mental health. Anyways, but teaching teens isn't about just like surviving it. It's kind of about tapping into their energy. They're super creative, but you got to get their sass, you know? They got a little bit of sass with them too. And then when you do that, you'll be amazed what they give back to you. So check out the courses in the description too. If you're interested in tips from me directly, then you can feel free to reach out for mentoring or something along those lines. But have a look at whatever I've got linked down here for you. And that's it for today.
That's it for today. If you want more, I've got binge-worthy playlists right here on the channel. You can also grab some resources at kellypenningtonelt.com, Instagram at kellypenningtonelt, and yes, even LinkedIn, where I do my best impression of being professional. Links below. See you in the next one.